Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing Uncharted 1 on brutal difficulty. This is my guide and walkthrough. We're currently on chapter 19 of 22. It is entitled Unwelcome Guests. You're not an unwelcome guest though. You're in fact a very welcome guest, and I'm rolling out the red carpet for you in presenting to you this Uncharted Trilogy Redux. So what we're going to be doing on this first section is we're going to be going into the rooms that open like that and have the red bulb flashing over them. So you basically just want to run and gun and avoid these enemies. Pick up as much ammunition as you possibly can. And then the next red room is right across the way. And this isn't too difficult. It's a little nerve-wracking just knowing that all these things are chasing you. But it's a good amount of tension that that is palpable and that makes you dread. So it's a very good situation that they've set up over here. Okay, now this room is the exit room. When you come out of this area over here, you're going to take a left, and then I believe you're going to take an immediate right. Take a right. So sometimes when I first played this game, I didn't know, as I was coming out of those rooms and as I was watching the cutscene, I didn't know where those doors were in relation to where I was. So I hope that my video minimized any confusion on your part. That point of interest right over there is pointing to a course. This next section, when you come in here, it's going to give you a cutscene, and then you've got to kill a certain amount of the departed. Now, you're going to see ultimate greed on my part. I'm trying to, well, it's in one part greed, and it's in one part kind of common sense to me, because what I figured was that if enemies are going to be chasing me in a room where I have to run and gun, as opposed to just going down a narrow hallway, so that I can actually aim at them without wasting too much of my primary weapon's ammunition, that might be a better thing for me personally. And there's a whole bunch of ammunition over here for the taking. Now, there's not an infinite amount of ammunition, but there is enough so that you can probably fill out your entire primary weapon. So there's a little bit more departed to deal with. I'm not sure how many they ask you to kill, but the situation over here is that you've got to interact with the door, and it's a long process, and the enemies will kill you before you can do it, so you have to kill all of them. There aren't an infinite number of enemies. There's, you know, maybe there's 15 or so, something like that. But all of the halls over here end in dead ends, so there's no chance of getting lost. I'm just going over here to try to collect some ammunition. You notice I've got nearly 100 rounds with my primary weapon. And this is a long chapter. The last chapter that we did was, what, not 5 minutes? This one is nearly 20 minutes long. It's one of my more enjoyable chapters. I don't like this part, but I do like when you get back to the bunker area. So now that we've killed everybody, we can go around the room and pick up all the ammunition. Normally people would fight the fight in here, and hell, I think that's where I fought it last time, but I just wanted to change things up a little bit. See, this is what you're supposed to do. You tap triangle, and then you rotate the left analog stick several times. So the thinking is that you would never be able to do this if enemies are slashing at you. So, not too hard at all. And now we're going to be going back to where we were, I believe, at the beginning. Yeah, at the very beginning of chapter 18, we were in this room. You're gonna find that Elena has been, I think she's been abducted. You're gonna approach the left part of this room. There's gonna be some ammunition over here for you. You might notice that I only have 2 rounds for my handgun. Well, they replace your ammunition for you. And since I've got a number of grenades that I can't use that many without, you know, having too many for myself, and I'm going to throw a couple of grenades and see if maybe I can kill people with the grenades, and maybe fail at the brutal combo a couple of times. I think that was a brutal combo, yeah, anytime it slows down like that. And now we've got the 92 FS 9mm for ourselves, and that's going to be a good choice. So you've got a whole surfeit of ammunition over here for yourself. When you come up here, be careful of this guy. You might want to throw a grenade down there and see if it'll hit him. I believe that we do hit him. But be very careful because you're right in the middle of his line of fire as you come down. And you might have noticed that I went down the stairs a little bit, crossed over a tripwire point. Now, many of these enemies that you fight are going to be distracted by trying to kill the departed. But if you look, their attention will be diverted back to you if they see you or if you're trying to fire at them. And on these guys, it takes 2 headshots to kill them because the first one will just take their helmet off, which is something I don't really know if I agree with that too much, but you know, it just makes you waste more ammunition when you're even accurate. So anyway, you've got the same weapon from the last room over here. You've got an M4, you've got a SAS, you've got a 9mm. I think maybe 2 types of 9mm. There's 2 types. So you've got so many guns over here that that there's just no way you're going to run out of ammunition. So you've got to go a little ways before you get the first checkpoint. There's going to be several edits over here because what happened was I kept going around the room and I kept being so indecisive about what I wanted to bring where that it ended up there would have been like well over 5 minutes of extra footage of me just running around just like a chicken with its head cut off, just trying to figure out what weapon I want to bring because I kept vacillating on everything. Like, should I bring this? Should I bring this? Should I not bring this? You know? So it was too much too often that I just don't want to bore you guys with it. It's all the same take. It's all the same take. So the Brutal Trilogy, I think that this game, at first, to the uninitiated, is going to be just an ordeal that you might you might quit. Well, I quit. I fucking quit, man. But I do think that it's easier than Uncharted 2 and 3 because of the fact that you can utilize this cover trick. I mean, you can do it 95% of the goddamn game. It's incredible. I don't know why they don't give you a dragon sniper rifle over here. It makes absolutely no sense because once we get into another situation like this, there's going to be another guy who's just as far away, and they give you a dragon sniper rifle to take care of him. So, a little silly. Doesn't make too much sense. But what I was talking about is that if you think, well, holy shit, this Vic Benedict, he's some great player who can beat Brutal. Well, yeah, I'm good. I can beat Brutal. I wouldn't say I'm great at all, but I'm good enough to beat Brutal. It's fucking hard. But the thing is, third-person games are my specialty. Like, if you ask me to play Call of Duty or anything that's in a first-person perspective, like, you would need to tell me how to do it because I wouldn't know how to do it hardly. Like, if you asked me to play, BioShock or anything that's really different from this, I would be so hard pressed to even know how to do it that I would need a walkthrough, and I would probably need somebody sitting next to me telling me how to do it because I would be so unfamiliar with how to do it because I don't touch first person games. I avoid them as much as I can. I hate them. So just realize that, you know. I would probably say the same thing of you, that you're some god if you're, very good at first-person games, because I wouldn't even be able to do anything in them. So just at least bear that in mind. I've also been gaming since I was born in 1980, so I'm not sure when Super Mario Brothers came out, the first time it came out with Duck Hunt on the NES, but I was we got that the year it came out, so that was at 88. So I've been playing games for 30 years. So you have to always bear that in mind too. So if you're much younger than I am, you also get a checkpoint when you come up here too. So if you make it this far, you get a checkpoint. Just take those things into consideration when you think that I'm actually somewhat good at video games. It's just because I've been playing them a long time, and I'm very familiar with this and very comfortable with this genre of video games. This over here, and I have played first-person games in the past. I remember playing and enjoying Turok. I think that's the only game I ever played in first person. I liked it then, but I grew to really not like it when I started to get back into games and I started to play God of War and stuff. And I did pre-order God of War, so I'm not excited about it. I'm just curious about it. But anyway, there's a bunch of these Departeds down here on this floor, and from my experience, they never come up the stairs, so they're all contained down there, and you've got to really be careful as you turn the corner over here, because there's going to be more Departed that come up. The nice thing about this is that there isn't an infinite amount of these guys. Now, there may be a whole shitload of them, and I mean, look how many there are down here. There's like 5 of them at one time. But you can kill them, and they will all finish up and stop spawning, which I appreciate, because sometimes in games, when there's just an abundance of enemies, or if they never stop spawning, the fun can abruptly end. And you might be able to see that you've got enemies out of sight up and to the right shooting at these guys, but don't depend on them to kill them, because they're going to take forever to kill them. But I am excited about the new God of War. Excuse me, I'm not excited. I'm really interested in how it's going to play out. I'm deeply concerned that the franchise is going in the wrong direction, and that it's tainted and ruined. I'm hoping that it isn't, but I do have that fear about it, that they just took the game in the wrong direction. Maybe they didn't. I've heard from a director's commentary that the entire God of War, there aren't any cutscenes, so it's all a seamless experience, and I thought that was pretty interesting. And I was pleased to hear that it's not open world. It's got some side roads and things like that, but it's not open world, so that's another good thing. You know? And most people would call that a bad thing, but I don't call that a bad thing. Okay, so enough talking about that. We need to focus on what's going on over here. We've got a whole bunch of grenades. Now, the next section is fairly difficult. I also just got done deleting all of the Uncharted videos from 2015. So I had to do that very carefully, because I didn't want to start deleting my own brutal difficulty videos that I just started publishing. So I was extra careful just to delete the ones from 2015, because I don't want any confusion about guides. You know, why would I need 2 guides for this game? Now, you might say, well, you did like 10 guides for Ninja Gaiden 2. Well, that's a horse of a different color, if you take my meaning. Anyway, one of the treasures I remember, one of the last treasures on this game is up on one of these crates. You can actually mantle on these boxes up there, and there's a treasure on one of these boxes. I would never have known about that. But as you push up here, be very careful, because there are probably enemies hiding behind these boxes. And in a minute, we're going to switch out from what we're carrying now. See, I'm actually coming up here to see if I can see anybody over there who's in need of a grenade, and I think we might be able to throw one at these guys effectively. Notice that when you mantle up here, he doesn't just hang off the ledge, which would be better, because he actually mantles up and puts himself into vulnerable position right there. Now there's a few things that you need to do before you get the exit out of this chapter. There's a couple guys over here, and be careful of these guys, because sometimes you flat out cannot see them, and they could flank you. Like the one over there to the right, he could flank me at a moment's notice, and then I could be killed. So you've got to be careful about that. But in a minute, we're gonna switch out our primary weapon. I don't know what we have. We might have an M4. I'm not sure. It looks like the M4. We're gonna switch that out for the Dragon Sniper rifle to take care of the target that's far away. And you don't need it though. You can hit him, but it's much easier to use the Dragon Sniper rifle. The unfortunate thing is that once you get to the home stretch, there's a few more departed that they make you fight. So now what we're going to do is come back here, pick up this dragon sniper rifle, and use it to kill this final guy. There is a dragon sniper in the next chapter. I think there's a pair of dragon snipers at different locations. Okay, so remember how we're going to switch shoulders over here? I'm not sure if we're going to need to, but I did mention how to switch shoulders. Nope, that's no good. Switch shoulders with the other gun, and then switch back to the sniper rifle, and then you'll switch shoulders with this. I don't know if this position's any good either. It might be. Perfect, see that? That's how you switch shoulders. It wouldn't work if we were aiming over the right shoulder. Okay, now all the humans are dead, and you're going to notice a crossfade. What a crossfade is two clips that are that have been overlapped, because I had no real way of editing this because I was so indecisive about what I wanted to do. So now what I'm going to do is hasten back here to where I know these guys can't come up, and finish them off up here. Because if these guys kill you, you've got so much to redo, you're going to probably want to kill yourself. So just come up here, and if you have to, sacrifice bullets rather than dying, because you don't want to do all of that over again. And that's it. That's all you've got to do. But it was a long chapter. I like this chapter. I really do. I like the intense music. I like the whole setup. I like this warehouse area. And another crossfade where I was trying to swap out my weapons. Now, when you come down here, there's going to be a few more guys. I made bold to ignore them. I did so at my own peril over here, because they could have slashed at me. However, one slash at me is not going to kill me. So I figured to myself, I can get by them with just one slash. But like you saw there, I didn't even get hit. Okay, guys, that has been chapter 19. I will see you in the 20th chapter. Take care.